All right, so Greg, this question is from Anthony Philip Rose, and he asks, have you had any experiences with Jesus which have helped you to paint the way you do?
Hi, Anthony. Well, you picked like the toughest question out there, I think. First of all, this subject is extremely intimidating for me to even attempt. And you always feel very inadequate and like you just haven't done him justice. I've come to the point where I just simply try to paint my feelings about him. To go beyond that is just overwhelming for me. So I think of these pieces as a symbol of Jesus, a reminder of him. And hopefully that can be enough. If it just gets people started, gets them to slow down long enough to think about him, then maybe that's enough.
So more of a reminder?
Yeah, and I think, my experiences with him, honestly, he's never come and posed in my studio. And each piece that I do, I try to make him a little bit different so that people don't think I've got an official version of him.
What would you say over the years, how many different models have you used?
I've probably used 9 or 10 different models as a starting point. I call it an anatomical armature, someone I can pose, I can dress in a costume, I can light a certain way. And then I use my own imagination to sort of morph that person into what I think of as a symbol of Jesus. And so, hopefully there's enough room left for the viewer to kind of fill in the blanks and add their own feelings about him. That would be my hope, because it's an extremely difficult subject. And anytime an artist creates a picture and holds it up and says, "This is supposed to remind you of the Son of God," you're going to strike out. Everyone who's a Christian has their own idea of what he must be like, and your interpretation is going to be different. So I just think of it as a springboard. Hopefully just open the door for some personal thoughts about him.
So would you say that's kind of your hope as far as with your paintings, just that it helps people to know Christ better due to looking at these images, or just?
Yeah, I think if people slow down long enough to think about him, and think about him as a real being, and think about him as someone that they can connect with, they can relate to, I think something spiritual happens. That in some way our spirit kind of reaches out and his spirit reaches back, and you can make a connection. To go beyond that, I mean, there are people who I'm sure don't relate to the images that I create, and you're always open to criticism. He should look more this way or more that way. And to me, that's not as important as trying to capture a feeling about him. The specifics of his features and that are, for me, secondary. And the message and the overall spirit of the piece is what I'm most concerned about. So, the experiences that I have with the Savior that are connected with these pieces are just kind of simple, quiet, internal things that, wouldn't make a great, news story or anything like that.
Yeah.
But for me, they're powerful, personal experiences, and you can't help but work on a piece that represents Jesus, for hours and hours a day, and not at least think about it. And I found that when I do, things happen inside, and those are meaningful, special experiences.